Why are we seeing so much on social media in regards to abolish the monarchy? Why is it that every time there is a scandal, we get abolish the monarchy? But the thing is, I'm not seeing 40 million people in the streets or parading outside Buckingham Palace saying abolish the monarchy. So let's look into the royal family, what is going on, social media versus real life, and how the monarchy can actually lean into this rather than avoid it. So if you're interested in the truth and what is really going on, then this could be the channel for you. My name is Ems and I utilize my 20+ years experience in the field of psychology to break down what is going on, looking at facts, not gossip, not clickbait, and I bring them here to you. So as you're still here, then don't forget to click like and subscribe if you haven't already, as we get into some bite-sized tea. Right, so before we get going, let's ground this. Recent polling shows that 6 in 10 people still support the monarchy, whereas 1 in 6 say they want it abolished. Now, of course, support is not as high as it was back in the 1980s when obviously the late Queen was around, but since then we have had social media, and I think the social media noise, in a sense, drowns out what is going on in the real world. We know that Twitter noise can change in an afternoon, in a week, but constitutional change, well, that's a different ballgame. So then you ask, why is this reaction so big? So when we see scandals, especially online or even in the mainstream media, that involve billionaires, celebrities or politicians, we call for accountability and we call for an investigation. Quite rightly so. What we don't say is scrap the entire system. We don't say abolish all billionaires, abolish all politics, abolish all celebrities. All right, I mean, we do, okay, I will say that we do have our opinions on that, and we do think, we know, I have certainly seen that Hollywood is obsolete and things like that. But, you know, it kind of comes to something and nothing. But when it comes to the monarchy, all we ever see is abolish it. That's it. Not, okay, look, let's be fair, let's investigate what's kind of going on. And, you know, if there is involvement, then we need to, you know, there needs to be some accountability, etc. Because if we were going to look at it from that perspective, the monarchy has done that. They have all but stripped Andrew of his titles. He's now no longer allowed to use any of the titles. He's not a prince. He has been removed from Royal Lodge. He is no longer part of any of the working royal publicity, events, etc. He's removed literally from everything. Now, his titles going officially are to do with the government, nothing to do with King Charles. He has done all he can do, but that's not good enough. It's not good enough because these are people that want to abolish the monarchy. So then it becomes, is this actually about finding justice for the victims of what happens in, you know, with what we're seeing with the Epstein files? Or is this a dislike for the monarchy and they're just using this as something to jump on? So let's look at what the monarchy actually does, because I think that a lot of people don't really understand the inner workings of the royal family, because a lot of people see it as, you know, ceremonies, ribbon cutting, oh, they take our taxes, you know, and it's boring. But constitutionally, the monarch, who is King Charles III, is the head of state. And what that means is he formally appoints the Prime Minister. Okay, I mean, that's, you know. He signs laws so they officially become law. He represents the UK internationally, and importantly, he stays politically neutral. He doesn't campaign, he doesn't run for office, he doesn't represent any one political side. Prime ministers change, the head of state doesn't. That stability is the point. And that really is the point, is that we have that stability within the UK. Of course, you're entitled to prefer a different system. There are many that do, but that is what it's designed to do. So if we abolish it, which is what people are calling for, if Britain abolished the monarchy, we become a republic. That means we'd need a president instead. Then we'd have to decide, do we vote for them? Does Parliament choose them? How long do they serve? And who's to say that they are going to be any better? Because in all fairness, when we look at the history of politicians, when we look at the Epstein files, and we look at how many high-profile people are potentially involved, they are just as shady. And in fact, a lot worse and get protected. So who's to say this whole thing with people saying abolish the monarchy? Why do people feel that this is the country is actually going to be better off? Plus the fact the revenue, the tourist revenue that gets brought in from having the monarchy, we wouldn't have that anymore. So I don't believe in any way that we would be better off if the monarchy was abolished. But these people, it's like they're so ill-informed that they just jump on this bandwagon without actually realizing what it means. So I think people don't realise the UK doesn't have one single written constitution like the United States. So a lot of our system is built around the crown. So removing the monarchy isn't just removing a family, which is what I think people feel. I think they think that if we remove the monarchy, they're going to be outside the job centre wanting a job. It's like they're set for life. They're okay. They are not going to be destitute. They are set for life. But it would mean rewriting parts of the state functions. I mean, it's not impossible, but it's a massive structural change. It's not just a case of, oh, get rid of the monarchy and there's a for sale sign on Buckingham Palace. It's like, it is so much more than that. Now, here's the thing which I feel is a lot of this, if you look at a lot of what goes on, especially online, a lot of it comes from, a lot of younger people who I feel do not understand the role of the royal family. I can understand why, because when you look at America, it's like it's Air Force One, it's like it's dramatic, it's big president elections, and it's like this visible, powerful leader. It feels modern. The monarchy, I understand, can feel old-fashioned, distant, and formal. If no one explains to this younger generation what neutrality means, what the royal family actually means, then I can understand why they see it as antiquated. That's not ignorance. That's just a communication gap. So when you look at countries like France, Germany, and Italy, they all abolished their monarchies. But the difference being, even though, yes, they are a republic now, but those changes happened during revolutions, world wars, and huge national upheaval. They rebuilt their system from the ground up at a time when it was needed, at a time when it was structurally when everything had fallen apart anyway. Their presidents are now political figures. That works for them, but it's completely different structure. Some like it and a lot don't. But has it changed the country in the sense of, do people suddenly feel all safe and secure because there's now no longer a royal family? No, those problems that are in the country are still there. They're just now sort of under this political umbrella now. So, but here's the thing. I don't feel the monarchy is an immediate danger. I don't. You've only got to look at recent, like when the king comes out. Well, it just shows exactly the mood of the people. So as I said, I don't think the monarchy is in any real danger immediately. But I will say that I do feel in long term, it could be. If younger generations, as the older generation go and younger generations come up, if they don't see the relevance, if they don't understand, then yeah, it could be in danger. The royal family don't clearly explain why neutrality matters, why stability matters, and what their actual function is, because outrage fades. This scandal will fade, but generational drift, that changes countries. So when you see abolish the monarchy trending, ask yourself, is this a national shift or is it an online spike? In all fairness, the real data, not online outrage, is people want to keep it. That's the majority. And that's also not including people from other countries that love the royal family, that fly over to see the royal family. So let's not also take that out of the equation. But when you're looking at the younger generation, I think the royal family are missing a trick here. They need to create the younger generation as they come up to understand. And they can do that in different ways. Say if you ask a 20-something or below what the monarchy is, they'll say, well, they just cut ribbons or they take our tax money, which is the cost of a cup of coffee. So I think the royal family could do with finding a way to bring this into schools, to create schools to understand the relevance of the monarchy. Transparency. I think there does need to be more transparency. A lot of the younger generation don't like secrecy, and I think that they do need to move with the times a little bit. I don't quite know how it would work, but I think that they definitely do. Bring out the younger royals and get them to do a few more things. Tap into this younger generation and get them to understand the relevance of what it means. They can speak more plainly, do less sort of scripted moment. It's not about being cool, it's about being relevant to what is going on. So yeah, so this is how they could tap into the younger generation. But anyway, if you've enjoyed this video, then please give it a like and subscribe so you do not miss future uploads. And also go across to Team Therapy if you want longer format videos which delve into things a little bit deeper. So that being said, hope to see you in the next one. And as always, take care of yourself and I'll see you then. Bye bye.